Welcome, fellow Phoenixes, to the Spiritual Phoenix Podcast, where we make a daily offering to the divine by putting our past on the pyre, searching the smoke for spirituality, turning the ashes into art, adapting isolation into connection, and manifesting mental wellness. I am a spiritual arsonist named Ross Cessna, and I wish to ignite the authentic expression of your soul into any avenue that elevates consciousness. I don't want to tell you what to think, but to get you to think, create your own understanding, and originally articulate yourself in a way that is uplifting. We are the artists of our lives, and today is a blank canvas. Let's collectively create a better tomorrow. And I'd like to take a moment and focus on what we're grateful for today. Today, I'm just grateful for the three guests that I've had in the past 2 weeks. Sonia Sophia, Carrie Crawford, and Nixie Marie. It was such a beautiful time to listen to your stories and to chat with you a little bit. And I really appreciate that. And it was beautiful to find similarities in our stories, even though we have different ways of expressing ourselves and are on different journeys, but the commonalities of those situations was powerful to me. I'd like to get into several quotes for today. Someday, after mastering the winds, the waves, the tides, and gravity, we shall harness for God the energies of love, and then, for a second time in the history of the world, man will have discovered fire. And that was said by Pierre Teilhard de Chardin. Yeah, I probably butchered that name, and I apologize. The mind is not a vessel to be filled, but a fire to be kindled. And that was said by Plutarch. One of the strongest characteristics of genius is the power of lighting its own fire. And that was said by John Foster. The most powerful weapon on earth is the human soul on fire. And that was said by Ferdinand Foch. Pardon me while I burst into flames. And that was said by Brandon Boyd of Incubus, and it's lyrics from the song Pardon Me. I wrote a poem about being a spiritual arsonist 2 or 3 days ago, and I'd like to share that now. I have ignited my inner being by burning the wicker man I was. The fires of rage have exhausted, the eternal flames of love burn. My womb has been the ashes, my home it is an urn. I'll soak you in the ether to watch your essence combust. Burn away the impurities as the charcoal is activated. Other contaminants absorbed. My spells are spoken digitally. My grimoire made from the runes on my keyboard. We dance amongst the flames and rise higher for the sky. A particle in the pyre. Only those who live can truly never die. We ride on salamanders into eternity. Take my burning hands, ignite your volatility. And I've really come to the conclusion that even with my progress that I've been going through and everything, I'm at a stage again where I'm somewhat combusting. I'm burning another wicker man that I've created around myself, and also a framework, a wooden framework in my mind of how I needed to progress with things. And I think that there's a lot of power in acknowledging that. I have a very open mind about things, but shifting to the business element of this and wanting to create things and trying to go down that route and having a concept of a business and trying to write a business plan and all those things, I kind of shifted my focus, and it was draining energy from me in lots of ways. And thankfully I have people around me who I can bounce ideas off of, who kind of said, your concept is good and you need to follow that creative outlet, but you're wasting a lot of energy in trying to figure out this business plan. Kind of do it as you go, and you're going to start out small and then build it up anyhow. And that's where like the Wicker Man, or like building this wooden framework, comes in, because it's like when I had the creative idea of what I want to do and what I'm going to do, it was very light and airy and uplifting. But then when I started to put it in this quote unquote wooden framework of what my concept of business is and how I should progress in a traditional sense, it became very restricting and limiting. And that's on me, really, and how I interpret those things. But my therapist even said as much as lots of people, when they want to transition, lots of creative people, I should say, I assume it might be different, the same for other people, but when people want to shift from concept to beginning to develop it and like that kind of framework, there's like a mental switch that flips, and then it becomes this big laborious process. And are people going to take this from me? Are people going to do this? And it really put me in this fear thing. I was afraid of getting started with it, and then what I found out is I was afraid of the concept. And now what I'm realizing is, doing what I'm doing, I don't have to be afraid. Like, I'm going to create stuff, and let's just say I have a good idea. If somebody happens to take it, I don't want to lose sleep over it. I don't want to get worked up over it. Like, I have a direct connection with the source. Like, I got them on speed dial because they gave me the number, I guess I would say. And with that, if an idea is taken, as long as I'm doing the right thing and progressing, I can come up with something better. Like, I don't have a need to worry about it. The other thing that I need to combust in my spiritual arsony is my concept of where I'm going with everything. I have this one big overarching general goal for what I want to progress and what I want to leave for other people. I'm going to write it out so I can maybe talk about it sometime, or because it's a big concept, and I want to work towards that. But how I get there, my path and understanding now is good. But from talking with the people that I've talked to the past couple days, I've almost kind of framed myself into this concept of who I want to be, and it's good to know who I want to be. But for me to think that I have the path figured out is somewhat dangerous. So I'm just burning all of that. Like, I'm burning the Wicker Man of me and burning this framework inside of me, and I'm opening my mind up more, because I'm very fond of being open-minded. But it's one of those things, if I think I'm open-minded, sometimes maybe I'm being a little closed-minded, because an open mind continually unfolds. It's like fire spreading, where it just, anything flammable around it, it touches, and everything in your soul is flammable. I mean, ether, not the quote unquote the ether, but ether, the physical substance that we named ether, is extremely flammable, which is why I like to play on words between ether and the ether. But yeah, it's just like, I need to continually progress things. And I had this concept yet again of, I need to do the podcast less. I was talking to somebody from the Positive Head group last night, and they kind of articulated what I had already said, that like, I need to do more of the free form shoot from the hip thing, because that's my better material. When I speak like this, when I speak from the heart, it's so much more pure. And again, I'm in this fear concept of I have something that I have to tell you. And it's like, then it becomes me articulating a message, and it kind of reduces my own authenticity, because again, I create this wooden effigy of what I'm trying to portray, or how I'm trying to say things. When I speak like this, I might make a mistake, and if I'm paying attention, I'll catch it and I'll correct it, and then it's not a mistake, it's a lesson. If I'm writing stuff down and I'm like structuring it how I think it should be, my ability to transmute what the source is telling me is greatly reduced. Just like when I do my poetry, I try to do it all free-form train of thought. That way it's just this wild organic process. Going back and editing it, it has some merits in certain situations, but my thing is being me authentically without restriction. And if I hear something that I say that I don't like, I can change it. But I want it to be real. And it doesn't mean I'm not going to read some things. It just means my concept of where I'm going with everything is burning right now. And it's not like, oh no, it's on fire. Ah! It's like, yeah, look at the flames. Look at that go. I've written lots of poetry or done art and things and burn it to release it back into the universe to say, thank you for these gifts, and I give this back to you as an offering. Or if it was like something negative that I wrote or something that had a bad association to me, doing that releases me from it. And I had the concept at one point that it was going to be releasing it back into the universe, and it's like, well, it may, but that's where it came from. Like, so it's going to disperse where it should be, and I did it at the suggestion of my higher power. So it's really like, it's kind of a nebulous concept. You'll get it if you get it, and you won't if you don't, I guess. Like, that's all I can really say. I really want to start moving forward with this. I want to talk more about my concept of different philosophies or different things that I talk about. I've almost told you everything about my past and my past story and understandings. Maybe as new things develop where I understand things differently, I can move forward with that. I want to get some more guests on. I really have enjoyed that experience a lot. I'd like to do several different concepts of things to progress everything. So I don't know. I just really, I felt that I needed to speak about being a spiritual arsonist. I may be a spiritual phoenix, but phoenixes are fire, so I can be an arsonist too. I can have all the things. Not really, but I wrote a mantra for my weekly tarot card reading that I did the tarot card reading on Sunday, so it would start on Monday and go through this upcoming Sunday. So this mantra still applies. The way that I write these mantras, I did one last week as well, is I take the tarot card reading, and then from the anchor card, which is the first card that I draw, to the card that represents Sunday, I create a little mantra from it, or something to be uplifting or inspiring for that week. I also, I think I've included some of the quintessence cards, where, if you don't know what a quintessence is, I don't know that I can describe it appropriately. It's like the spiritual essence, I guess, is the easiest way that I can say it. And I might not have expressed it 100% correct. You can use Google. You have all the information available at your fingertips. Don't be lazy. And with that, I'll get into the mantra of the lion stars. The sun shines bright upon me. It will burn away my fear. My ambitions will be rewarded. I have the strength to persevere. Adventurous new beginnings, rewards from where I've been. My heart is like a lion's and leads to connection. The battles I have braved have never been for naught. Generosity surrounds when love is what I've got. Imagination's fire touches everything I see. The lions roar in my soul as I set them free. A star twinkles above me in my life and in my mind. The constellation Leo shall be by my side. And yeah, that's just a little mantra. You don't have to use it for just this week if it resonates with you. I'll put a link for it below. Save it and read it when you need a little courage or something. And with that, I'm going to put this episode on the pyre. If you want to be on the show and you have like a cool inspirational story, something you've overcome, some kind of good philosophy, a spiritual experience, whatever, there's going to be a link below for the guest application. Fill it out, drop me a line, and I'll get back to you. I'm busy, but I'm not too busy to reach out to people. There may come a time when I'm substantially busier and I can't do so directly, but I hope that I'm never that busy where I can't make time to talk to people at some point. And also, if you want to reach out to me personally or professionally, because I'm going to start offering different services in this kind of field, because I like this stuff and I think that I could help some people get situated, maybe doing what I'm doing or something similar but different. There'll be a link for that. Links to my tarot card readings will be below. Also links to my website, all my social media, etc. That'll all be below. If you could take a moment to respond to the PodTrack listener survey, I would appreciate that, as it'll help me understand my audience. I'm on several different podcasting platforms, I think 5 in total now. So I'll have to update those links in the near future as well. And with that, I love, respect, and appreciate all of you. Make today magical with the attitude of gratitude and a mentality of manifestation. Love and light. Namaste.